Hey, and welcome to Unlearning Stress, the podcast where we break the rules and cycles that keep you overcommitted, overstretched, and just plain exhausted, and replace them with something better. No fluff, no guilt, just real talk, real solutions, and expert insights to help you shift the way you live. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been with me for a while, you're in the right place. I'm Michelle O'Neill, your resident emotional wellness coach, and I'm here to help you unlearn the patterns that are wearing you down so you can live with more ease, clarity, and control. Let's get to it. Well, hello there. I am here, and you don't know how big of a fate that was or a feat that was. And it's because everything tech that could go wrong went wrong, but that's okay because I'm here and I'm going to stay here with you. And if we have issues, I'm coming back. So don't worry about it. I will get this back up. So I just want to jump right in because I don't know if everything's going to work right. But I'm Michelle O'Neill, and you are on Break Time Live. And I'm so glad that you took a break during your day, your lunchtime, or whatever it is, and you're here with me because I have something for you. So, if you want that persistent ache of disconnect that you have to stop, I want to talk about that. If you want that to stop for you in your life, you need to, or I want you to stop drowning out your own voice because that's the only way that we can correct that. And the thing is that most women, they aren't willing to hear this. That the fact that what's stopping them is that we're drowning out our own voices. And so that ache that you feel, that offness, like something's just not quite right that you can't shake, it doesn't come from the world around you, not at all. It comes from losing connection with yourself while you're trying to manage everything and everybody else. And tell me, is that you? Can you relate to me? Can you raise your hand and say, hey, that's me? Because if that's you, you are in the right place. So I'm glad you're here. And today, what we're walking through is what it looks like when control outside of you starts to slip. Because remember, we can't control anything that's outside of us. What goes on in the world, other people's feelings, other people, we've talked about that. And well, you can't control that. And so the thing is we want to talk about what that looks like and how you lose that control inside of you, the one thing that you do have control over, how you lose that's inside of you at the same time. And then we're going to talk about how all that turns into actual disconnection in our everyday life with those around us and the things that we're involved in. And then what alignment? That's what we're shooting for this week. What alignment actually looks like and feels like the moment that you come back into your rhythm. So, are you ready for that? Is that something that you're here for today? Because if you're not, get ready, get ready, get ready. So, let me help you visualize what I'm talking about because you'll probably say, okay, I think I want to know, but I'm not sure where she's going with that. So, you wake up and you're moving through your morning, right? Like this morning, and you already know that something isn't quite right. It's not sadness, it's not stress, it's not anger. It's just that feeling of being off. Things aren't quite right, right? And so you're doing all the normal things, getting ready, making decisions, answering all the people, all the things that you do all day long. But there's this quiet sense that the inside of you isn't quite matching what's going outside in your day. Have you been there? So it's like that feeling of, I'm okay, but I'm not okay. You know, that moment that you can't explain, just something isn't right. So you brush it off. It kind of reminds me of when we have something and someone says, taste this, potato salad or something like that, and they say, taste this, does it have everything? And you're like, "Mm, it tastes good, but there's something missing. I don't think it's salt, right? Thanksgiving's coming in up, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this has that specific feeling to it, almost like, have you ever, your stomach feels off, that nausea, but not nausea when you don't actually feel sick, just something's a little funny and not right, or when you're hungry and someone asks you, what do you want to eat, and then they start running off this list. Do you want chicken? Do you want this? And you're like, nothing actually sounds good to you, or nothing. When you finally get something to eat and you taste that and that's not it, and so nothing satisfies you, right? And you can't figure out what's missing. That's what we're talking about. It's not a craving. It's not a problem. It's not a mood. It's none of those things. It's that gnawing feeling of, well, misalignment. And that's what we're talking about. But you're not calling it that yet because you haven't quite figured out that that's the issue, that something is off alignment. And it's like, I always love talking about music, but the other night we were in a restaurant, and in that restaurant, they were doing karaoke on the other side of the restaurant. And it's like hearing someone sing and then they hit that note and it's slightly off, and it just makes that whole song sound off because you can't forget what you heard. And it's not loud and it's not dramatic, but you can't unhear it. Or when you feel slightly out of step with yourself, like your system is trying to find that beat, trying to find that rhythm, and everything around you is a little off tempo. It's like there's two different beats going on. Or when you sing happy birthday, and there's like two different keys that people are singing. This, when you notice that, this is where alignment starts, not with the answers, not with the clarity, but with recognizing what's quite off, what's off. And that shows up before anything else does. And that's what you want to tune into. That's what you're looking for. That quick, simple, something's off. So, my question to you is, have you ever had one of those days? Like maybe even today, we're halfway into our day, right? How was your morning? Have you ever felt that way where you're moving through your day, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, but nothing feels quite in the right rhythm, like you're right. This is the first sign that control has pulled you outside of yourself and your day is moving, but you're not in it. Not at all. That all off feeling that we're talking about doesn't slip away on its own. It sits with you. It's that slight nausea that I talked about, that nothing quite fitting, or that discord note that just kind of stays in your mind all day. It just hangs there. And no matter what you try to force it to do or try to force on it, it's still there in that background, just tapping you. Hey, you hear me? You recognize me? And it's uncomfortable. It's not painful, just uncomfortable. The kind of feeling that you can't ignore even when you want to. It's like that gnawing headache. It's not quite a full blown headache, but you feel it. And it's not enough to take something for it, but just enough to irritate you. And you can't rest with it. You can't settle. You can't shake it off. None of that. And it stays with you through the day, no matter how many tasks you check off. It's there. And you start searching for, well, for a reason. Did I miss something? Did someone say something that I missed? Did did something go wrong, or is something wrong, or is this stress that I'm feeling? Is it my hormones? Is it fatigue? Is it menopause? Something's off, and I need to figure out what it is. And you're trying to find what it is and identify it. Identify that feeling so that then you can do something about it. And that's what we're always searching for. How can I fix this? How can I do something about it? And it's not dramatic enough, like that nagging headache, for you to stop your day, to go lie down or whatever, but it's strong enough to follow you throughout that day. I mean, you can still cook, you can still drive, you can still answer your emails, right? And you can have conversations. But that feeling that something's off is right there under the surface, like that quiet agitation that you can't quite put your finger on. And because you don't know what it is, you keep trying to fix it with productivity, with responsibility, with doing more, with distracting yourself, right? Like I just did. But the feeling doesn't move, it doesn't soften, it doesn't resolve, it doesn't let you go, and it doesn't go away. And so now you have a clear picture of what misalignment is. It's not something loud and glaring, and it's not chaotic. It's just persistent. It's just a steady discomfort that keeps circling back because something inside of you is trying to get your attention. So let me know if you've ever had that kind of day where no matter what you did, something inside of you just wouldn't settle. And I'd love to hear what it felt like for you, what it was, that off feeling that wouldn't let you go. Was it that headache feeling? Was it that slight nausea feeling? Or what was it for you? And the more you try to control what's outside of you, the more that inside keeps trying to get your attention. Hey, that's not yours. And after a while, that off feeling starts to pull you away from yourself, not dramatically. Again, it's not this blaring thing, this bullhorn that just says, hey, and it's not all at once. Just enough that you don't feel anchored in anything you're doing. You don't feel that connection. And it's like having, you know, it's like that headache that I talked about. And it's just strong enough to keep you from being fully there. So you're functioning, you're moving, you're responding, right? But your real attention is really stuck on that uncomfortable feeling in that background. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example right now. I see some issues with this live. I don't even know if you can hear me. And I don't want to stop because it may be okay. So I'll fix it afterwards because I do want to be present with you. But it is ever presently gnawing in the back of my mind. Is it right? Is it working? What if? But I can't fix that now. And so what you do is you still do the live, you answer the emails while your mind is still worrying about that something else. You're talking to people, but not really in the conversation. But I'm in this conversation because it is about what's going on right now. You're doing the task, but you're not connected in any of them. You start feeling pulled away from your own life because that feeling has taken the front seat. And I'm not letting that feeling take my front seat today. You might not even notice it at first, but that disconnect gets a little wider as the day go on. You're not overwhelmed. You're not falling apart. You're not in your day. That's just what it is. You're not in your day. You're in the discomfort. And because you don't know why you feel that way, you keep circling back in your mind, trying to figure it out, which only pulls you even further away from that moment you're in. So, this is what makes that off feeling that I'm talking about so powerful. It holds your attention hostage without ever raising its voice. It doesn't have to. Simple connection is hard to maintain when that gnawing voice or distraction is in your ear. Do you know, or have you ever been in that space that I'm talking about, where you didn't feel connected to anything that was going on around you because of the voices that were going on and the conversations that were going on in your head? Disconnection shows up when control has you managing everything except the one thing that actually matters. And for me right now, that's you. But what I'm talking about is you. You're the one thing that matters because you're the one thing that you have control with. So when that disconnection feeling stays with you long enough, it actually starts to take up mental space. That's what I was talking about, mental space that you didn't give it permission to take up. And it becomes like that having that. Here's the other thing it made me think about, having that toothache that's not enough to stop your life and not enough for you to even push to go to the dentist right now, but enough to make everything else feel secondary because you can't get that dull pain to go away. You're doing what needs to be done, but your real attention is actually locked on that mental or that internal ache, not on what's in front of you. And you catch yourself actually forgetting simple things, not because you're tired and not because you're just distracted, but because your mind is circling that discomfort instead of the moment over and over and over again. And so you lose focus. Oh, I know you know what I'm talking about. Not in that big way, as we keep saying, but in that way that, what was I doing? I know I walked over here to do something. Oh, how many of you have done that in your kitchen when you're thinking three things at once? And see, there's my hand, thinking three things at once, and you lost your focus. That kind of way that pulls you in and out of your day because you're trying to remember. Or conversations feel foggy because you're half listening and half monitoring that ache. Or you're present enough to function, but not present enough to connect to anything that you're doing. And sometimes it's great that you really don't need to concentrate on it because at least you're getting things done. But that's not where I want you. Where you feel scattered because your attention is split. Remember, there's no such thing as multitasking. That is a fallacy. It's multi-switching is what you're doing. Where your body is in the room and your mind, in this instance, is in that ache. And the ache becomes the anchor of your day because everything centers around that ache. Everything else orbits around what you're feeling and that ache you're feeling. And your attention never really slowed down long enough to be in that day with you? Raise your hand. I got both up. If you've ever, ever been there. And when your attention is trapped in that ache, it's the clearest sign that control has taken you so far outside of yourself that you can't feel your own grounded and you can't ground yourself. So now, to the most important thing, what does alignment really look like? And alignment is when you stop trying to control everything outside of you and you finally come back and ground yourself. And it's not a feeling and it's not peace. I'm sorry. And it's not calm. It's that moment that you're inside and you're outside. Stop fighting each other. And you can hear your own thoughts again, not those loud ones, but the true ones, the honest ones, what you need to be concentrating on, the ones that you forgot all about because you were so focused on what's outside. And your reactions start making sense again. You're not snapping, you're not circling that ache over and over again, and you're not second guessing every move that you make. You can see your day clearly. What needs you and what doesn't. What matters and what actually does not matter. And you move from that steadiness instead of that urgency. Your decisions stop being rushed or feeling rushed, and your thoughts are in order, not in pieces. Alignment feels like your whole system taking one long exhale. Not because the day is easy, but because you're back inside of your own life. You're not disconnected anymore. You're present. You're aware. You're grounded. And you have that rhythm again with yourself, that music that keeps you going. Alignment is the moment that you come home and that ache finally gets quieted. All right. So you know I have to do something with you. So let's do this together. I want you to slow your breathing just a bit, just a little. Nothing deep, just enough for you to get here, to focus here, right here with me. And think about today or this week or even this moment right now. Where did you feel off? Where did that off feeling first show up for you this week, today, or right now? I don't want you to try to fix it or figure it out. I don't want you to try to explain it. That's not what I'm asking. I just want you to notice it. Where? Where was it? Now I want you to name the truth of it, the real truth. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, maybe it's, I'm tired. That's what's going on. I'm just tired. Or I'm stretched. I can't do one more thing. Or maybe it's, this feels so heavy. I can't take anymore. Or even, I don't want to do this like this. This isn't the way I want to live. Maybe it's just simply something about this doesn't feel right. But whatever it is, I want you to say that truth that you've been drowning out. I want you to Hold that truth for a second. Just sit there with it. I don't want you to judge it. I don't want you to run from it. I want you just to sit there and hold it. And now I want you to ask yourself one question and be brutally honest. What is the best choice I can make from this truth? Not the convenient choice, not the expected choice, not even that trained choice, but the best one. And if your truth was, I'm tired, for an example, maybe the best choice is, this can't wait. I can ask for help. I don't have to push like this. If your truth was, something doesn't feel right, maybe your best choice is, let me slow this down, or let me rethink this. Or maybe even, let me check in with myself before I move. If your truth was, I'm overwhelmed, maybe your best choice is, what actually matters right now. What is it? Or what can wait? Or maybe even this isn't my responsibility. Why am I stepping in? Alignment isn't about changing everything. That's not what I'm asking you to do. It's about making the next choice from truth instead of pressure. And when you do that, even once, you feel yourself returning, becoming a part of your own life. Alignment, what it is one honest choice at a time. So I hope you got to see this. If not, I'll get it up. I'll get it up again. But you came here today with that persistent ache of disconnect, the same one that we don't like to identify, that same one that we usually just push past. And now you can see exactly what that ache is trying to tell you if you went through that exercise. Not that your life is out of control, but that you were pulled too far outside and not into what's going on here. So today, what you did is you heard your truth, not the pressure, not your habits, not the expectations, but your truth. And you saw what happens when control shifts outside and inside, and the difference, and how fast that you can lose your own rhythm without even noticing that the song switched on you. And you felt what alignment really, really is. And it's not perfection, not calm, not clarity on demand, just one honest choice that puts you back into your own life. That's the work. That's the shift. That's the door that you walk through every single time. So if today really resonated with what's going on, if you could see yourself in any part of this, then stay connected with me, because this is exactly what we'll be doing inside my new community, the Undivided. We're not performing wellness. We're not pretending balance, not being strong for the sake of being strong. That defeats the purpose. What we're doing is we're learning to come home, to be with ourselves, and to live fully in our lives, one choice at a time, one pattern at a time, and 1 week at a time. And if this is your life, stay tuned, because the community, the Undivided, is where you belong. You weren't meant to live disconnected, not from yourself. And you don't have to. Until next time, take care and listen here. Bye-bye. If this episode hits home, don't just push it aside. Lean into it. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And connect with me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, where we go even deeper. Links will be in the comments. And if you're ready to start unlearning the patterns that keep you stuck, keep listening, because real change happens one choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.